Hi, I'm the Moorlander and this is Moorlander EDC. Today's piece of content hopefully is a good one because it is definitely something different. I never really think about lights in this respect, although I know I have talked about some of these things in the past, but I wanted to actually look at lights. We all have light, we all carry a flashlight. I mean, the vast majority of us in the EDC community, we carry a flashlight with us. That flashlight enables us to see in the dark. It propels light forward so that we can look at things and we can find things. And to some degree, yes, it helps other people to see you, but the main feature of that light is so that you can see in the dark and you can find things that you're looking for or a direction that you're wanting to go. But it's equally as valuable for you to be seen in the dark. So I've been thinking about this quite a bit recently. You know, it's the winter here in the Northern Hemisphere and my kids walk home from school in the dark. They walk to school in the dark, and I think that's where this first came from, especially with this small Phoenix thing. As soon as I got this, I was like, I need more of those, and I've given one of each of these. I bought 3 of these now to give to my daughters. And just generally being out, especially if you're walking in the woods in the dark, if somebody needs to follow you to be able to follow something, or even if you're just camping and you need to mark certain areas, maybe where you go and poop in the woods, or maybe where a tent is so that you don't fall over it. Anyway, so I'm waffling quite a bit. I have 4 different solutions here from 4 different manufacturers. 2 of these I purchased with my own money. 2 of these were sent to me. So I'd certainly like to thank Armytek for sending me this one, and I'd also like to thank Olight for sending me this one. I do have some discount codes for both Armytek and Olight, so I'll leave those below rather than rambling even more and getting into the content. So we will be having a look at how these work in the dark, but for now let's take a closer look at these 4 things that I've just picked up just to make sure that you can be seen in the dark. Now that's a catchy name for a piece of content, isn't it? Useful things so that you can be seen in the dark, maybe. Anyway, let's turn the camera around and take a closer look. Okay, now before I start, so as mentioned, I do have 4 useful kind of solutions here. Some of them look quite military-esque, like the 2 that we have here. You certainly see these sort of devices on the back of soldiers' helmets. Some others are a little bit more kind of consumer focused, like the Gober and the E-lite or the E-lite here. One thing that I will add is, I hope you appreciate, there's quite a few little, some are double presses, some are triple presses, some are, I've tried to rehearse this as much as possible, but apologies if I do fumble on some of the double presses or single presses or long presses, mainly because, you know, there's 4 different products here and 4 different ways in which they all work. Now, not going through these in any particular order, I'm just going to grab this one. I'll put all of these down here. This is the Phoenix E-lite, or if you can see on the back here, it's either E-lite or I guess it's a play on words, isn't it? It's either an E-lite or an E-lite. But it has a super simple little spring on the back, so whether you want to put this on some mullet like you can have here, or if you just run a regular kind of commuter style backpack, a lot of those tend to have a little bit of a loop on the strap that you can use. On here, there is a light here at the end, and then there are some lights within this button. So if I do a press to turn it on, you'll be able to see. Now, I'm not going to go through as far as like luminosity levels and that sort of stuff. I just really want to give you a general idea of each of these, and then I'll leave some links at the end if you want to look into them a little bit more with the manufacturers. So you do a long press to turn it on, and then you should be able to see here that we have a light here on the end. Now, if I press again, we have 3 different levels. So we've almost got a low, medium, and a high. This is actually really cool because what I've done with this on a few occasions, if you clip this onto a belt or at least onto a sternum strap, it points up. So if you want to read from something, it's very good, and it's just at an angle. It doesn't go perfectly up. It's probably at maybe, say, a 30-degree angle heading off in that direction. It also means that if you do clip this on to a strap, it will also come down onto a map should you need it. You can also clip it onto your belt if you do it that way, and it just projects just ever so slightly out in front of you. It is a USB Type-C charger on there, and you do have a nice little plug on there. But the bit that I was talking about as far as being able to see more in the dark, now you do a long press to turn it on, but if you do a long press and a lengthier press, you'll see now that there is an LED, or there are actually two LEDs behind here. So there are different modes with this, but it's not different luminosities. It's a difference between, at the moment, we're on a constant red. If I press it, we now have a flashing red, should you need to use this as a beacon or just so that you can be seen. Do another press, it will then turn to blue. And then another press, it will then turn to flashing blue. Now, if you do another press, it doesn't do red blue. It's not like a police-esque signal if you are part of the emergency services and you wanted to use it for that. Unfortunately, it doesn't have those. It would be cool if Phoenix did do another version where you could get it to do the blue-red flash. But I think just as a quick and simple solution, and then a long press to turn off, but I think as a quick and simple consumer looking solution, it's very small, it's about 1.5 inches maybe. Yeah, so this is the Phoenix E-lite or Phoenix E-lite, however you want to look at that. Now okay, you guys choose which one do you want to go for next. That one? Yeah, okay, brilliant. Let's go for this one next. So this is from Nitecore. Now Nitecore have made a few of these, and there are a few different models of these. The version that this one is here, this is the NU06 LE. I believe there is an NU05 as well, which is a slightly different setup. With the NU06 LE, you also get a few of these different fixtures. So if I remember how this comes off, oh, I did forget this. I was fiddling with this last night while I was playing with it. So when you get this, so this is a MOLLE compatible version, so you can pass it through your MOLLE that way or that way, depending on how you want to do it. There is also a helmet version as well, which is slightly wider and then has a bow to it too. And then there is a version that is completely flat if you did, again, you wanted to put that onto a strap. It's similar, so it has a tongue and groove system, so whether you want to do it from either way, you'll be able to see there is a recess here and here. And then when this pushes on, there is a little groove that connects into either of those. So whether you do it that way or whether you do it the other way, you certainly don't have anything or have any issues connecting it. If you wanted to use this on a helmet with a strap that goes through there, and you want to make sure if you've put it on the wrong way, you can change the orientation of the light without having to take this off. On the bottom here, there is also USB Type-C. The little plastic bung that goes into there, as with all of these actually, I will say that they all go in exceptionally well. When you push it in there, you can feel a very good air seal on there. And all of these have reasonably high to very high IP ratings as well. Now the way that this one works is you do a long press to turn it on, and it's on, so it'll always remember which mode you were on. And this has a difference. So as we look around here, and I forget which way, I think it's red, green, blue and white. You've got constant on, or you've got flashing on. So if I turn this off, which is it's another long press. So when I turn this on and I hold this down for 5 seconds, I'll try and get this in such a way that you'll be able to see it'll go constant flash, constant flash, constant flash, constant flash. When you get to the one that you want, you just take your finger off it and it will then leave it on that setting. So at the moment, we're on red flashing. So if I hold this down for about 5 seconds, you'll see that we're on now constant flash, constant flash, constant flash. Now I'm going to take it off and it will stay on flash. If I wanted to get, was this one green? So if I want to then go to green constant rather than red constant, if I just turn it off, long press to turn it off, and then keep my finger down on this for about 5 seconds and keep it on, we're on flash. Oh, that's police mode. Damn it, I forgot. There is a police mode, which, so you do all of those, and then there's a police mode, which is your 2 on there. I completely forgot about that one. Let's turn it off again, and then we'll go back. So we want to do constant green. So we're flashing. Now we're on constant. Oh, I missed constant, but there you go. That's how you change it. And then turn it, click it back off, or long press, and that will turn it off. It does protrude. Some of the other ones are a little bit closer. Certainly the Armytek Crystal here, it's a little bit flatter. This is the whole solution. This gets everything stuck on. I think because with this one you've got different mounts, you can change it between whether it's on your bag, whether it's on a helmet, whether it's on a different bag. It certainly makes it easier to do that, but you do find that it does just protrude that ever so slightly more. But I don't think it's a massive issue. It's not something that I certainly think detracts from the product. But it's something that's worth mentioning. Yeah. So that is the what is it? It's the Nitecore NU06 LE. Now the next one that we have here is the Armytek Crystal. I thought it'd be useful considering we just compared these two that we'll have a look at this one next. There's a few different functions on here. There's a few different ways that you can fix this. So when you get this, you get a few of these little elastic, these rubber bands. So should you have something that you can't necessarily clip this onto, you can use these bands in a way that you can pass it round the back, so you have it, they attach on the side there. You can pass it round the back of something and then connect it onto the side. I'm just pushing these in. My hands are a bit cold today, so apologies. You don't need to leave this on. It has a rubber bung here on the end. This is the only one at this moment in time that still uses micro USB. However, I'm pretty sure, although I haven't asked, but I'm pretty sure Armytek are probably going through a cycle to change these over to USB Type-C. Again, another high IP rating on this, but this is one of the only ones that has a constant on and it has a strobe, but each of the different lights on here, you also have different luminosity levels. So should you want to maybe put the included head strap onto this and use it as a headlamp, you can have it so that you've got low, medium and high, and then the strobe as well. Now to turn it on, you turn it on. At this moment in time you can see that is on the low. So here on the left hand side you have the red LED. You can do a double click and it will change it over to the white LED. Now, the reason that I've put this one on the lower one is that it will always remember whichever side that you're using, it will always remember which light level that you're on. To go through the light levels, you do a long press. So if I hold that down, you can see that we're now on strobe. Another long press. We've now gone to the low mode, another long press, we've jumped up, another long press, jumped up again, another long press, and we're on the high mode. If I wanted to put this so that we're over on red, do a double click, we're over on red now, and this is the lowest setting on red. So long press, we're now on select, if that was low, medium, long press, high, long press, extra high or turbo, and then another long press, and it will put it into strobe mode. Now strobe mode on both of these is on the highest of the settings. So we can do another double press, and because we finished on high on the white light on this. So there's quite a lot of functions that you get from this, and being able to have this as a headlamp if you wanted to, so that you could read. There's also a lanyard holds, or a couple of lanyard holds here at the top, so should you want to again put this around your neck, you can do that as well. and then a press will then turn that off. So this is the Crystal from Armytek. Oh, I forgot to mention, so this is the Crystal Red. So because there are just the 2 LEDs on here, if you wanted to have one that was blue or green or yellow, then you can buy different versions of these to make it easier to be able to see which one they are. The back plate on here has the colour of whichever light it is that you've got. There's also this clip which you can pass, so it is included with, you get a head strap with this one, so you can pass it through there, and you can use it as a head torch as well. The last one on here, this is the Olight Gober. So there are a few different versions of this. This is the kind of the standard version, but there is also a dog walking version as well, which is almost 2 of them pressed back onto each other. It comes with a clip. This is also USB Type-C. There's a little port underneath there, and again you have a really nice bung that goes into that, and you'll be able to see that it has a bayonet style fixture on this. So you put it into it, you give it a turn, and it locks it into place. This one, rather than with all of the others just having, well, I suppose with the Nitecore, it does have different style lights. There are different style lights on this, but with this one there are 3 LEDs within each module. You can clip this on. Hopefully if you can see, there is an extra little bit on there. All of these, when I show you these later tonight, I'll fix these all onto this backpack so that you can see how they all look. To turn this on, it's the single button here in the middle. You hold it down and it will turn on. So at this moment in time, it's flashing. If you press it, it will then go through the different colours. So we've got red, green, we've then got blue, and we've then got white. If you want to take it out of the flashing mode, I think it's a double press, and it'll then put it onto constant. Now when it's on constant, you actually have a different mode on this one because we've got red, green, blue and white. So to go through these, you've got this kind of funky disco kind of setting. Click it again. Now we're on constant red, constant green, constant blue, constant white, funky disco setting. The funky disco setting is one that I forget where it is. You have to go on constant to get this funky disco flashing. If I put this now onto red and then put it onto the red flashing mode, if I go through these different colours, it almost feels as though the funky disco setting should be in these, but when it's flashing, it will cycle through red, green, blue, white and not do the funky disco mode. This is really nice actually. I've had this on me whilst I've been running a bit more, mainly just because it's got that the 3 LEDs on here, but there are different colours of these. So at the moment you hopefully be able to see that this is the black version. It doesn't reflect on any of the colours or any of the LEDs that are within the actual light itself. It's just for cosmetic kind of purposes on the outside. I think there's a blue, there's an orange version as well. I'm going to do a large review on this. In fact, if there are any of these that you've seen today, if you'd like me to do a more in-depth review on these to give you more around the luminosity levels and battery levels, that sort of stuff, just comment below and I'll make sure to do that. But for now, let's see how these work in the dark and how you can be seen in the dark. Now just to give you a bit of an idea of how these work in the dark, I've just put them on my bag here, and we'll have a look just so you can see exactly how well you can see somebody. Now just so you aware, so this one here, this is the Nitecore. Here we have the Phoenix, here we have the Armytek, and here we have the Olight. Now as I'm walking here, hopefully you can see, I'm just going to try and get further and further and further away from the camera as I'm walking. Again, you know, some of these are at different luminosities, so there is a difference between each of them, but I think the main point of this is, you know, what we've been talking about from the beginning, that really it's just about being able to be seen at night. They all have flashing modes, they all have full on modes. I thought it would probably be best to show them with each of the different flashing modes that they have here. Although there are different brightnesses for each of them, again, really, it's just about being seen. We do a lot of content on flashlights where a flashlight is there so that you can see. But I think it's equally as important, especially during the winter, that if you're out walking, that you can also be seen as well. But these are also brilliant if you want to leave this, you've got a camp, you want to leave this as a marker if you need to maybe go to the toilet or something like that. Your battery runs out on your main flashlight. I don't know, you maybe just need to make sure that you can get back to something. Or maybe if you're in trouble and you need to leave something like this on your car, if you've been caught in a snowdrift, or even if you're lost in the woods and you need to make sure that you can leave a signal marker or something out at night whilst people are looking for you, then these all make great options for you to be able to use. I'm not sure before I started this if I need to give one of those photosensitive epilepsy kind of warnings. I hope it's not triggered anybody's epilepsy as we've been going through this. But yeah, so as I mentioned at the beginning of this, I think it's important that yes, we carry something so that we can see where we're going and we can help to find things. But I definitely think that it's equally as important that we have something that we can carry to be seen. I run 3 or 4 times a week, and having one of these clipped to the back of me, although I make sure that I run in well-lit areas, certainly just gives me a little bit more confidence that I can be seen whilst I'm running. Giving one of these, the Phoenix E-lites or E-lites, to my daughters, making sure that this is on the back of their bag, just knowing that there's just that extra, just something to make sure that they can be seen at night whilst they're walking home from school. Again, just it kind of helps me feel assured that they can be seen as well. Now I did mention the Olight here on the end, and the Armytek. I do have some links, and I do have some discount codes, so check below. I'll also leave some links to some of the other ones as well. I'll leave some of their social media links and my social media links as well. I hope you enjoyed this. This is definitely something I've been thinking about. You know, I've been thinking like when I did hats, because I know it's cold. I've been thinking about these because I know it's dark. So what I'm going to try and do is just think more around seasonal stuff, and hopefully it helps and it's appreciated. But yes, for now, as always, stay safe, stay Moorlander, and stay EDC. Chicken! I haven't done a chicken in a while. I do love a good chicken. Chicken! Ooh, we got pork. Roast pork for lunch today. Roast pork with crackling. It's my favourite. Lashings and lashings of apple sauce. Might make some bread sauce as well. There you go. That's what I'm having for lunch today. Cool. Feel free to talk amongst yourselves. See you in a bit. It's not as snowy today as it was last week, but it's still a bit nippy. That would have been awkward. I'm just caressing my nipples as somebody walks through. I'm not sure that's definitely going to go in the bloopers. Hopefully it will get past Google's moderator service. Is a YouTuber allowed to caress one's nipples on the telly? I don't know. Anyway, moving on swiftly. That's something I never thought I'd be talking about in my YouTubey career. Now, where were we? Yeah. Oh, still recording. Oh, I can tell I've took my gloves off.